And here is the Writer's Almanac for Saturday. It's the 5th of December, 2020. Mozart died in Vienna on this date, 1791. He'd been ill for a couple of weeks, suffering fever and headaches, back pain, swelling in his extremities. He himself believed that he had been poisoned, but nobody really knows the cause of death. He was buried in a common grave with at least 4 or 5 other people, simply because that was the practice in Vienna at the time. It's the birthday of the pre-Raphaelite poet Christina Rossetti, London, 1830, very popular during her own lifetime. Also, the woman who wrote the words, "In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow, in the bleak midwinter long ago." It's the birthday of Calvin Trillin, 1935, Kansas City, Missouri. His father was a grocer. He went off to Yale University, wrote for the Daily News, staff writer at the New Yorker for more than 40 years. Also author of a poem called If You Knew What Sununu, about the governor of New Hampshire, John Sununu, and a story about a chicken in Chinatown that could beat people at games of tic-tac-toe. It's the birthday of the essayist and novelist Joan Didion, 1934, Sacramento, author of a collection of essays, The White Album. The title essay became famous for its first line, "We tell ourselves stories in order to live." And it's the birthday of the writer and editor John Berendt, Syracuse, New York, 1939. Worked at Esquire, off and on for more than 30 years, and then decided he was tired of New York. He went off to live in Savannah, Georgia, lived there for 5 years, moved back to New York, wrote a book about Savannah, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It was a big bestseller for more than 4 years. Here's a poem for today by William Matthews, entitled Promiscuous. Mixes easily, dictionaries used to say, a straight shot from the Latin. Chemists applied the term to matters' amiability. But the Random House Dictionary, 1980, gives as its prime meaning characterized by frequent and indiscriminate changes of one's sexual partners. Sounds like a long way to say slut, that glob of blame we once threw equally at men and women, all who slurred, slavered, slobbered, slumped, slept, or lapsed, slunk, or relapsed, slackened, loose-lipped, sank ships, or slubbed, or slovened. But soon a slut was female. A much-bedded male got called a ladies' man. He never slept with sluts. How sluts got to be sluts is thus a mystery, except the language knows what we may have forgot. Depression began its career in English in 1656, says the OED, and meant, science jargon, the opposite of elevation, a hole or a rut, perhaps, or later, the angular distance of a celestial object below the horizon, as Webster's Third, 1963, has it. There's ample record of our self-deceit. Language, that furious river, carries on its foamed and sinewed back all we thought we'd shucked off. Of course, it's all pell-mell, head over heels, snickers and grief, love notes and libel, fire and ice, in short, promiscuous. A poem entitled Promiscuous by William Matthews. That's the Writer's Almanac for Saturday, December the 5th, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.